off to Ely, Nevada again.
Right, which is kind of out in the middle of nowhere.
It is the middle.
It's on the way to the middle of nowhere.
You can see it from there. We're off to ride the ghost train of Old Ely. More specifically, really, the Haunted Ghose Train.
Right.
Because the ghost train is number 40, which is down for repairs right now.
Right.
But the Haunted Ghost Train is an annual Halloween event.
Right.
And to see the reborn Nevada 81.
Well, there it is.
There it is. Our friends Don Hendrickson and Karen, they've joined us.
Yes.
They did before a couple of years ago.
Right.
And we're back to ride the Haunted Ghost Train yet again.
Right.
Which is a lot of fun.
It sure is.
We should probably start with a quick explanation of just exactly what this is.
Yes.
But the railroad runs this train on the weekends for 2 weekends, and the townspeople from Ely dress up in costumes and do all kinds of crazy things along the railroad line. So it's sort of like a train-powered haunted house spook alley thing.
Right, I
deal.
was just thinking it was a very large spook alley.
It's a big train-driven spook alley, miles long. Now you have to keep in mind that out here in the middle of nowhere, people have been sighting strange things forever.
Right.
And we are about spitting distance from Area 51.
This is true.
And so we're not sure if this is the townspeople or something else going on.
The other townspeople.
Decided to cut some corners. Hired a couple of local vagrants. After the victims buried our friend, they were walking along the tracks the next day, hoping to catch a ride. Next morning, over there. Oh yes, and over there. And oh, I forgot, over there.
So it's kind of interesting that US 50 runs right through the middle of this whole thing.
Isn't that interesting?
Which is the loneliest highway in America.
Right.
And is already fairly notorious for people seeing strange things out in the middle of nowhere when they're the only car on the road.
Right.
And I just wonder if they don't get phone calls at the police department about suspicious activity and
I imagine they get their fair share.
UFO sightings and stuff like that.
Right.
Now, one of the things they've built out here at the far end of track is an entire western town.
Right.
And they use it for all kinds of events. And so, of course, it makes sense that they'd incorporate that into the ghost train, the Haunted Ghose Train.
Sort of like Jackson Hole, Wyoming, but it's in Nevada.
Somebody needs to tell this guy. I mean, he's a cowboy, so maybe he doesn't know, but werewolf requires silver bullets.
That's right.
This isn't going to do it. This is just going to upset the werewolf.
Right.
Produced and dedicated into a tragic collapse at the turn of the century.
Back in Salt Lake, we thought we'd pay a visit on our friend Ammon Smith.
Right. Every year he does something.
Way over the top.
Uh-huh.
He spends weeks and weeks building up his Halloween display, and then he has a big Halloween party.
Right.
And this year, it seems that he's building himself a Carnival of Creeps.
Oh, dear.
I think I'm going to be a bearded lady this year.
Yeah?
Yeah.
The beard is going to be easy.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have any trouble
No,
with the beard.
should be pretty. You know, it's not a great beard, but it'll work for a bearded lady.
For a bearded lady,
Yeah,
it's more than enough.
It'll be perfect. Yeah.
So, a carnival this year.
Yeah. Carnival.
How come?
Because it's a carnival of creeps.
Yeah?
Yeah, and we haven't done it yet, and we have to do the new theme every year. You know.
Every time.
Yeah.
Never know what you're up to.
I know. I've got a couple things up my sleeve, right? Yeah, I'm working on getting my Ferris wheel to spin right now. That's the. I've got one last little piece to do, and hopefully it'll work and it'll spin on its own. Hopefully, so yeah.
The big event here is going to be Saturday night.
Right.
Trick-or-treating, and he's having a massive Halloween party.
Oh, fun.
For all of his friends and everything, and they'll have the house open, which will be the sideshow.
Oh, there you go.
Now, that's tomorrow night relative to us right now. That's last night relative to everybody watching this show Sunday morning.
Oh, the complications of Halloween on Sunday.
Yeah, and time travel.
Right.
Einstein explained it. Now, it's important to keep in mind our connection with Halloween.
Exactly.
And Schmidt's Farm, the place in the valley to go buy your pumpkins, because you and I, that was our very first date.
It was our very first date.
We went out there to buy about a dozen pumpkins, one for carving.
Yes.
And the other 10 or 11 or so for absolutely destroying on their trebuchet.
Right. It was so much fun.
They used to have a trebuchet. I think the trebuchet destroyed itself. These things tend to destroy themselves.
This is true.
But if you bought pumpkins out here at their farm, then they would let you, well, they would launch them, but you could give them the pumpkin and they would destroy it for you.
There you go.
At the very end of this show, there will be a link to all of our our Halloween haunted house, our stuff here. But we're going to chunk our own pumpkin this year.
Right. I thought it was important that we have a trebuchet.
Well, they destroyed theirs, so we have to build our own.
Right.
And anybody that knows anything about us knows we do everything in miniature.
Right.
So there's our miniature trebuchet.
Right.
In all fairness, this is one of those laser cut kits that you can get. And it proved to be a little tiny bit challenging. You did the pumpkins.
Yes, I made pumpkins for the occasion.
With the proper labeling on them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we made them to fit the trebuchet so that we could actually fire these out of what ostensibly is a working trebuchet. Although I'm skeptical.
Mm-hmm.
He's loaded.
He's loaded. That's what we need is a loaded pumpkin.
We have a loaded pumpkin.
Okay, we ready?
We'll pull the trigger.
And
here it goes. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Hey!
It worked!
It works! There's the pumpkin! You hit the foil.
It hit the wall over there.
Well, it landed on the foil. That's good. It works!
We just chunked a pumpkin. Now, also, our tradition is to go out and hunt down houses that have decorated.
Right, and they're just everywhere you go.
You know, it just came out. Lombardo Homes did an analysis of all 50 states, and they have declared the Salt Lake City area #1 in the nation for dressing up houses for Halloween.
Boy, and are they dressed up.
Everywhere you look, probably thousands
easy.
of houses, and some of them are just crazy fun, over the top, wild and woolly. This is just our neighbor.
Right.
We didn't even have to go looking for this. This is just
right there.
2 doors down. But as you drive around, everywhere you look, people have decorated for Halloween.
Right.
Now, this particular display was one of the more over the top.
It was.
These people have built a spider maze.
Yes.
Out of spider webs around their house.
Yes.
And it's all animatronics and custom lights, and you have to enter the spider maze from one end and find your way through the various spider webs and find your way past the lethal spiders.
Right, they're everywhere.
They're everywhere. But this was enormous fun.
Oh, I loved it.
Come with me. Linger much longer, and your soul will be mine for all eternity.
Ammon tells us he's got everything hooked up and running and ready for tomorrow night's party.
Oh, fun.
So back over to his house to see how it looks with everything turned on.
Happy Halloween.
It looks better at night.
Oh, it looks
pretty darn good during the day.
Yeah.
So people actually play the skull toss game.
Oh yeah, that's the point. We went for an interaction this year, you know. You actually have some things to do. You can get your tarot cards read over there, you know.
Yeah.
Kind of fun.
Now, of course, the sideshow's not open just yet.
Not yet.
Because that's just the party. I mean, that's the inside of their house.
Right.
And Ammon's going to be the bearded lady. I have no idea what his wife and kids are going to be.
Oh, we'll have to wait till Halloween night to find out.
I guess we'll find out tomorrow night.
Exactly.
But that should be fun. But the whole thing's open for kids to come over and play and everybody to enjoy this the night before the big party. You got a lot of lights.
Yeah, the lights. I mean, it can't be a carnival without lights, and it can't be Halloween without fog, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, there it is, Halloween 2021.
Oh, it's a thriller.
Which is today.
Yeah, that's right.
Even though most people are celebrating it last night, but and over the last couple of days, and for the last couple of weeks.
Exactly.
So it's been a big Halloween 2021. Well, there it is, a little diversion from our usual.
Right.
Which isn't a diversion because we do it every
I was
Halloween.
just going to say every Halloween, yes.
But next week we are going to be doing a close-up study of Nevada Northern 81, the new locomotive. Well, if you're not a subscriber, all is not lost. Here comes the blue button. The blue button.
There it is.
Well, we're not sure how you found our Halloween special on the internet. We hope you didn't find it boring. And we will see you here next week with 81.